You don't need to be at the mercy of the world. We've been conditioned to believe that we're victims of our own minds. We're victims of our impulses, victims of our desires, victims of the world, as if the world is out to get us. But that's not reality. We are the masters of our destiny. We are the masters of our mind. We are not the servants of our own mind. Our minds play tricks on us. Our minds have miscreated this thing that we call ego. The ego is our self-awareness. The ego is our sense of self. The ego is the part of you that looks in the mirror and says, look at me. Look at me. The ego has distinguished us from all the other animals on our planet. The ego has distinguished us from the plants because we have this unique outlook on the world where we place the world in relation to us. We place everything outside of us in relation to us. This tree is a couple feet away from me. This tree is these beautiful colors. The sun is oh so bright, but it's from my perspective, right? The ego places everything from our perspective. This point in time and space places everything in relation. And our mind is the most powerful tool that we possess to create, to experience. We move through this world with the power of our mind. Sure, our body is this amazing tool, but the mind, the subconscious mind, the impulses that flow through our body, the electrical impulses that flow through everything, allows us to animate it. We are living in these meat suits with this highly intelligent mind that's cultivated a sense of self-awareness, right? And as we understand in Western schools of thought, we understand that we have the ego, and we understand that we have the awareness behind it. The ego and the self, the little s self, the big S self. And as we begin to dive into ourselves, we can take back our mind. Because most people in today's society are leading lives based on ego. They're leading unconscious lives because you have the unconsciousness, which is the ego, and you have the consciousness, which is not the ego, which is the spirit. So when we dive into ourselves, we can create and shift this. We place awareness in the ego, and it will never kill the ego. The ego is not something to be fought. It's not something to be demonized. It's something to be embraced and admired and cherished. It's something to be revered because our ego has allowed us this unique experience on planet Earth. It allows us to say, wow, my name's Corey. It allows us to look in the mirror and say, I love you. It allows us to fall in love. It allows us to experience these moments of joy. It allows us to have these friends and express ourselves in unique ways. So the ego is a gift. The ego is a gift. And some people think the story of Adam and Eve in the Bible, the snake, was actually offering the gift of self-awareness. We were running through the Garden of Eden naked, unaware, unconscious, in pure bliss, of course. But we did not have a sense of self-awareness. So what can we create? And as that snake offered the apple to Eve, she bit upon that apple, and it was essentially her looking in the mirror. It was the snake had offered the gift of self-awareness. The snake wasn't a bad guy. Snake wasn't the devil. It was offering her a gift, a new perspective. And now we, thousands and thousands of years after this tale, are still looking in that mirror, trying to figure out how do we master this. The key, the master key, is to take back your I amness. Take back your I amness. Because through the world, we express our unique expression. Right? My Corey-ness goes out into the world through these videos. My Corey-ness is expressed in these relationships that I have and the songs that I write. But take back your I amness because it's the labels that you assign to yourself that allow you to be you. The labels that I assign to myself that allow me to be Corey is my I amness. And years ago, when I first woke up to, I am not the person that I want to be. And that's a trip. Because you should have ultimate control over your life. You should have ultimate control over your mind, your friends, your job, your occupation. You should have ultimate control over it because you're the master of your destiny. You're sailing the ship, remember? And when I woke up and I asked myself, why don't I like who I am? And I started looking into these labels that I assigned to myself. I felt shameful for my relationships with women in the past. I felt guilty for not buying in onto the things that I thought I was really passionate about, like football in college. And I had to take a step back. I had to take a step back and say, if these are the emotions that I'm experiencing, if these are the labels that I've assigned to myself, how do I alchemize these labels, transmute these labels, and reassign new ones to myself? And I dove deep into affirmations. And what we do by that is we use the conscious mind to influence the unconscious mind. So as I dive in to these labels that I had on myself, I'm reprogramming these labels. So I notice, wow, this label I feel guilty of. I alchemize this situation, and instead of feeling guilt, I reassign it with a new emotion. Rather than feeling guilty for not buying in on myself and going all in on college football and doing the damn thing and playing and working hard, I said, well, how can I be different? How can I use this as a positive? And for me, it turned into acceptance of myself. It turned into willingness to create something bigger than college football. It was by me saying, rather than I am guilty, I am willing. And then what happened? Then I started making YouTube videos all the time. I started making TikTok videos. I started creating. I started diving into myself to meditate, to know what it was that I really wanted. So then I took the emotion of guilt and I alchemized it into willingness. Our mind is the most powerful tool we possess. And this simple example of transmuting these labels that we have on ourselves will allow you to change your reality drastically. And that's just one example. I wrote in my journal every single day all of these affirmations, all of this gratitude. And if you want to see more on affirmations and gratitude and how I did it, feel free to let me know. Because it shifted everything. Everything shifted when I started to write things down. When I started to really affirm to myself and express myself in my authentic fashion. And I am becoming the master of my own mind. I don't think any of us truly master it at a really ever maybe. Most people live their lives unconsciously. The eat, work, entertain, eat, work, numb, sleep cycle. It's unconsciousness. But we are conscious beings. We are here on this planet Earth to be consciousness, to cultivate self-awareness, to experience life itself and not sell ourselves short and be at the mercy of our mind. Take your mind back. Take a deep breath and ask yourself those questions. Figure out what labels you want to be assigned to yourself. Express gratitude for where you are now and express gratitude for where you're going. And accept yourself in your totality. Accept yourself and love yourself and forgive yourself for where you are right now, because it's going to make the journey a whole lot harder if you don't. Because if you hate who you are right now and you can't say thank you for getting me to this point, it's going to be really fucking difficult to change. So say thank you. Say I love you as you look in the mirror. And know that your ego is not your enemy. Your ego should be your best friend. And you should click subscribe, watch that next video, because we got tons of awesome videos all about self-realization, consciousness, the world of mind, spiritual awakening, and all that good stuff. So thank you so much for being here. We're posting daily videos. We're after it. We're having a great time doing it. This is my passion. So thank you so much for supporting me. And I'll see you on the other side. So, Adonai, peace.